Welcome to Ephphatha. Jesus said, "Be open." Mark 7:31-37 is not just another miracle story. It's a turning point in salvation history. Let's set the scene. Jesus is moving through Tyre, Sidon, and into the Decapolis. That's Gentile territory. This isn't accidental. Jesus is making a statement. His mission is not just for Israel, but for the nations. And this location matters. Remember the Decapolis? That's where Jesus once freed the Gerasene demoniac. Back then, the people were terrified. They begged him to leave, but that man stayed behind. He became the very first missionary to the Gentiles, spreading word of what Jesus had done. Fast forward to Mark 7. This time, when Jesus returns, the people are ready. They bring him a man who cannot hear and can barely speak. Their hearts have been prepared, and now they welcome him. And here's where the story slows down. Notice how intimate this miracle is. Jesus doesn't just wave his hand or speak from afar. He does 7 deliberate actions, and each one is powerful. First, he takes the man aside from the crowd. Some miracles aren't meant for the spotlight. Some breakthroughs happen in private, away from the noise. Then he touches the man's ears. Think about it. This man can't hear Jesus' words. So Jesus makes his love tangible. Next, he spits on his own hands. Strange, right? But it's a sign of his life force, his very being, entering the man's brokenness. Then he touches the man's tongue. Jesus goes straight to the place of bondage. He looks up to heaven because every miracle is rooted in the Father's will. He sighs deeply, and here's the mystery. Romans 8:26 says, "The Spirit Himself intercedes for us with sighs too deep for words." In that groan, the Holy Spirit is praying for this Gentile man. Finally, Jesus speaks the word Ephphatha, "Be open." And immediately, Mark tells us, his ears were opened, his tongue was released, and he spoke plainly. Mark 7:35. Friends, this is more than one man's healing. This is a prophecy fulfilled. The ears of the Gentiles are open to the gospel. Their tongues are loosed to proclaim the good news. The first time Jesus entered this land, he was rejected. Now, through the witness of one former demoniac, the entire region welcomes him. What a picture of how God works. One transformed life can prepare a whole city for Christ. And that word, Ephphatha, is for us too. Be opened. Open your ears to hear God's voice. Open your mouth to proclaim His truth. Open your heart to receive His Spirit. This isn't just history, it's an invitation. Jesus is still speaking Ephphatha over every closed heart today. So let me ask you, where do you need Him to whisper that word in your life?